And yes, indeed, it is that time of year again. We got to get our kids back to normal sleep routines. Good luck, right? She's going to help us. Of course, it's back to school. It's Diane Dauphinais, sleep specialist, Sound Asleep Consulting Services. Busy time of year for sure. Things are going well?
Yes, things are going great. Yeah, it is a busy time of year. We're moving out of the lazy days of summer and into the busier back to school routines.
Yeah, you know, the kids are like, no, mommy, not now. I just want to keep doing this for another hour. So that's got to be tough to get them back to bedtime routine.
Yes,
sure.
Exactly.
Okay, so is just about every parent struggling with this?
Yes. Many of us are, right? Even myself, I can relate to those lazy days of summers and children going to bed a little bit later, or being out and different barbecues and things and holidays going on. And now it's time to focus back for back to school and getting things back on track. So
yeah. Well, how do you get things back on track? Where do you start? Do you begin with maybe moving bedtimes a bit earlier?
Yes. Ideally, yes. We want to start working with looking at the morning time. What time does your child need to get up in the morning, and moving backwards. So particularly for those starting into kindergarten for the first time, they're going to need more sleep. And children between the ages of 3 and 5 really need between 11 to 13 hours of sleep. So what time do they need to wake up in the morning? And then counting backwards from there will determine what is an appropriate bedtime.
13 hours of sleep. I can't remember when I got that much in a full week, I think. Okay, so that's super important, but being consistent with the bedtime routine is also important.
Yes, very important. So having, even on weekends, right? And we're talking again about getting back to routine, getting back to healthy sleep habits. So that first week is exhausting for children and parents as well, right? There's a lot going on, lots of prep work that needs to happen. So making sure that you're allowing them that time to also rest on the weekend, at least for the first month, where you're not pushing bedtimes later again, so that you can get into that habit of getting, you know, those consistent bedtime routines happening the same time each night.
Okay. Do you use a chart? Because I know you brought one with you here.
Yes. So I brought a bedtime routine chart. So this is a pretty standard routine for most children. The advantage of having a bedtime routine chart for very young children is that they can follow along with visuals and help guide you through the steps. So that allows them to be independent and also allows them to go through with ease. So that ends the frustration that can sometimes happen with getting little ones ready for bed, where often I hear parents saying, you know, I told you already, get your pajamas on, right? So then it eliminates that, so it can be a more welcome time at the end of the day.
What if they can't go to the potty? Like, what if, because that could be, you know, what if they can't go
Yes, well, then they're usually wearing like a pull-up or something during the night, so then you'll just take that off your list, yes.
Okay. It varies in areas. It's important to plan your mornings in advance, too. I find that even as an adult, it saves you money, or time in the morning, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
Good to do that with kids?
Yes, and time is money, so
yeah, that's right.
Exactly, right? So whatever you can do, preparing lunches the night before, you can even have little ones help, right? If they can't prepare the lunch, at least they can help pack it or choose which type of fruit that they want to have in their lunch. And then the next day it's ready to go and in their bags. At the end of the day, coming home from school, having them unpack what they've brought home. So again, it's not something you're sifting and sorting through in the morning. And then whatever can be packed at night is also ready to go. So that makes for an easier getting out the door time in the morning for everybody.
Okay. Meditation is actually something that you can do with your kids?
Yes.
Is that sort of like a new thing going on here? Because I haven't heard of that much.
Yeah, it's something that I'm using quite often with children, particularly between the ages of 7 or older. And that's, you know, around the age of 6, you know, that's when they're starting to think about moving away from kindergarten. They're going into grade 1. There's some worry that can really come into place that we don't often think about. We often think of teens going into high school, but they're now in a desk, right, as opposed to playing and learning in a more sort of like play centers in kindergarten classroom. Very useful for teenagers as well, because again, they might be starting into a new school. There's more demand socially that they can take home with them, and we're in a time right now where teens aren't leaving those social settings at school and coming home,
right.
they're also coming home with them through their phones and social media and things like that. So having meditation allows them a way to separate and refocus.
Okay. I just want to get to this last point because we have about 30 seconds left. Planning quiet activities before bedtime is very important to help them wind down a bit, right?
Yes, exactly. So that can be board games with parents. It can be Play-Doh or arts and crafts, things like that. Also getting outdoors, so that allows some free thoughts, a mental escape as well, to help your body start the process of winding down and relaxing.
Staying off the devices, perhaps.
Yes. It's recommended 2 hours before, but I say start small. Something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
I say after 1 hour before bedtime, or implementing a habit of no screen time after supper for little ones.
Soundasleep.ca. Diane, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
Very helpful tips and more daytime coming up in moments.